Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here, returning to you this afternoon for a album review for Imminence, The Black, their I guess fifth or sixth studio album. I think it's their fifth, honestly, or something like that. I can't honestly remember, but pretty much this is, I believe, their fifth record for The Black. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 52-minute album, which is 12 tracks, and let you know my thoughts on this record overall. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with Come Hell or High Water. This track is alright. It's pretty good in its own way, but I don't know. The vocals from Eddie were hit or miss with this one. I didn't hate his vocals, I just wasn't on board with it at first because I was starting to get into the record. So basically, this is a 4.75 out of 5 for the first song. It's not terrible, it's just pretty good in its own way. Um, Desolation, great track. I really enjoyed the scream vocals from Eddie, sounded really good. And just the drum work and guitar work was quite outstanding for this track. Even the violin work was pretty nice too. So, really enjoyed this track. Uh, so 5 out of 5 for this one. Heaven Shall Burn was definitely something I could headbang to. There were quite a bit of songs I was headbanging to from this record. And off the bat, it's a pretty strong record, I'll tell you that. So 5 out of 5 for Heaven Shall Burn. I like the scream vocals from Eddie and just the way the song is structurally sounding. It did really well over me. And it really impressed me, this track. Beyond the Pale was a pretty strong track too. It's the fourth song on the record, and I really enjoyed this. For Eddie's vocals, his screaming and clean vocals were pretty strong, and just there were a few songs where he did some clean vocals, but still great song for what it went for. 5 out of 5. Death by a Thousand Cuts is a pretty strong track. I really enjoyed this song for how it sounded. Um, so pretty much this track did headbang, meaning it rocked for sure. Um, I like Eddie's screaming vocals, and some of his clean vocals from time to time are pretty strong too. So this is a great song. I think this was a single and a music video they made for it, but overall, great track. 5 out of 5. Come What May was like a 6-minute track. This and The Black were the longest tracks for the record, honestly, and I really enjoyed this song for what it went for 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So you're in for quite an epic song, and Eddie's screaming vocals are quite outstanding. So 5 out of 5. Cold Day Sock, I believe is Cool Day Sock is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. They are a Swedish metalcore band, so basically there's some tracks that are in Swedish and all that are Swedish language kind of songs, but pretty much I think overall this track is pretty good. Some of the mixing has its issues with its electronic noise sounds. I don't know if I can get on board with, excuse my yawning, that I don't know if I can get on board with. But overall, the rest of the track did pretty good for what it went for, so 4.75 out of 5. The Call of the Void was a great track. Really enjoyed this one. Eddie's screaming vocals are quite outstanding, and just his clean vocals from time to time are pretty strong, but his scream vocals through this whole track, which I think it was screaming vocals through the whole track, that sounded really outstanding, so 5 out of 5. Then you get Continuum, the ninth song on the record. I think this was a single too, and this was a great track for what it went for. I really enjoyed this. Eddie's clean and singing vocals, like his clean vocals, his screaming vocals are outstanding. The drum work is quite amazing, and so is the guitar work. 5 out of 5. Lapel Duvidi, I believe is how you pronounce it. Juevidi. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it in the best way possible. I almost sounded French for a second. uh, Something like that. But pretty much 4.75 out of 5 for this one. There's some noises in the back at the end of the track that have its hit or miss moments. But the rest of the song, majority of it's pretty good for what it goes for. So 4.75 out of 5. The title track, is actually a great song. I really enjoyed this track for what it went for. And I was really impressed with this song. So great song. Definitely headbang rocks for sure. And I think this was a very melodic song, but pretty dark too, with the lyrical content as well. So basically, 5 out of 5. Lenore, or Lenore, however you pronounce it. I'm not pronouncing it in the best way possible, so if I'm not, please excuse my mispronunciation of the track's name. So pretty much, I think Lenore, or however you pronounce it. Um, I think this song was really nice with the violin work. I've heard this before, and it was really interesting of a closing track, and really nice. Pretty sad too, but it ends in a good way for this record, and that's what I appreciated about the track. So this is a 5 out of 5. Nice violin work, nice way to end the album. Pretty dark and sad for what it goes for. A depressive vibe for the finals track, but it works for what it goes for. So 5 out of 5. Overall production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Imminence, the Black, was actually a really good album. It's not as strong as the North Lane Mirror's Edge record that came out this Friday, um, but this upcoming Friday, which is tomorrow, at midnight tonight. But still, it's a strong record. One of my favorite records that I've listened to uh, for this year so far. So, if I were to give this an overall score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This is as good as Dead Poet Society's new record, Fission. So, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed this, and a few other albums that came out this year that I really enjoyed. Um, but still, great record overall. 9 out of 10 for Imminence the Black. It is a strong record. I highly recommend you check this album out for this upcoming Friday's releases. I wasn't sure if I was going to really review this record and give it a hard listen, but I'm glad I did because I really enjoyed it. So, and Eddie's screaming and clean vocals were quite outstanding for this record, and just the overall band itself did very well with this record. Mixing, production, and instrumental wise, great album. So, 9 out of 10 for Imminence the Black. Thank you for watching this album review this afternoon.